Okay, I'm going to go through the sentences from the sample final. Here we go. O hirai aeges hai tu pediu archete, ean tadora pempomen, me nukdoske tengen blapsete. All right, it starts off with a vocative, O hirai aeges, O holy goats. And that vocative is followed by a relative clause, where hai here is the feminine nominative plural of the relative pronoun, and its antecedent is aeges. So hai is the subject, because it's nominative, of the verb archete. And remember that archo, when it means rule, can take a genitive, right, to pediu. So, O holy goats who are ruling over the plain. And now we have aeon plus the subjunctive. So that looks like the protasis either of a future more vivid, if the verb of the apodosis is future indicative, or a present general, if the verb in the apodosis is a present indicative. But actually, the verb in the apodosis is an aorist subjunctive accompanied by me. So what's happened is we've substituted for the apodosis you might expect from a future more vivid, we've substituted a prohibitive subjunctive. So, if we are sending the gifts or the bribes, if we are sending the gifts or the bribes, do not harm the land, by night anyway. Notice that nukdos is genitive singular. That's a genitive of time within which. So altogether, O holy goats who are ruling the plain, if we are sending the gifts, do not harm the land, by night at least. Okay, sentence number 2. Hai agathai theoi, hais penta zoia etuthe, tus poietas ou fulaten ethelusen. So the subject here, in the nominative plural, is hai agathai theoi, the good goddesses. That's feminine nominative plural. And then hais here is the feminine dative plural of the relative pronoun, and its antecedent is theoi. All right, so the good goddesses for whom or to whom 5 animals were sacrificed. Note that etuthe is third person singular, aorist passive indicative, and zoia is plural, but it's neuter plural, and neuter plural subjects take a singular verb. All right, so the good goddesses to whom 5 animals were sacrificed, ou ethelusen, do not wish to be guarding the poets, or maybe wish to be not guarding the poets. All right, number 3. Hoi stratiotai hoi ente agorai, angelus para tus pelemius epempsan. Hopos hege hupo ton gekekon me blaphtheye. So the subject here is going to be hoi stratiotai hoi ente agorai, the general or the soldiers, the ones in the marketplace. Sent, third person plural aorist active indicative, sent messengers, para plus the accusative, to the side of the enemies. And now we have, looks like a purpose clause. Okay, hopos plus me, and what here is an aorist subjunctive passive, blaphtheye. So in order that the land might not be harmed by the bad guys at any rate. So blaphthea is third person singular, aorist, optative passive in a purpose clause in secondary sequence. All right, I think this is 4. Ekenoi toi rhetori toi logus periton theon graphonte epathes euan ephulatas the tus polemius tus ta hopla en toi pedeoi lipontas. So we have A plus the imperfect indicative. What's missing there? What's been elided is an epsilon. That's a terrible looking epsilon. Let's try that again. Not much better. And then on another imperfect indicative. So A plus the imperfect indicative plus on. What we have here is a present contrafactual. So ephulatas is an imperfect indicative middle in the apodosis of a present contrafactual. So let's start translating it. If, now epathes, again, imperfect indicative middle. Remember that the middle of patho, which means persuade, the middle can mean obey, and it takes a dative. And I think all this is the dative. Okay, so if you all were obeying that rhetor, the one writing, okay, that's the dative singular masculine of the present active participle of grapho. So if y'all were obeying that rhetor, the one writing words about the gods, you would be being on guard, well on guard. You would be being well on guard against the enemies. And now this is all an attributive participle construction. The enemies, the ones having left, the ones who left, that's an aorist, second aorist, active participle. Accusative masculine plural, agreeing with the polemius. So you would be being well on guard against the enemies, the ones having left, the ones who left their weapons on the plain. Okay, last one. Hupo ton aiskron me didaskomenoi, doron grapsometha tus retras tus ente agorai. Okay, so let's see here. This, I believe, is the main verb, and it's future middle indicative. And I think this is the middle of grapho, meaning indict. So we shall indict the rhetors, and then we have our genitive of the charge for bribes. Okay, and now which rhetors? The rhetors, the ones in the agora. The rhetors, the ones in the agora. All right, so we shall indict the rhetors, the ones in the agora, for bribes, on a charge of bribery. And now we have to look at the beginning here. Because here, this participle, this present, I think passive, rather than middle, because of the hupo ton aiskron, this present passive participle has a me with it. So this is a circumstantial participle with me. It must be conditional. And this nominative masculine plural participle agrees with the subject of grapsometha. So actually what we have here is one of these future more vivid conditional sentences where instead of aeon plus the subjunctive in the protasis, we have a participle, a circumstantial participle. Okay? So If not being taught by the shameful ones, if we are not being taught by the shameful ones, we shall indict the rhetors, the ones in the agora, for bribery. The end.